Good day, doctor, and all my fellow classmates. I'm Chu Ziwei with matrix number 2300469 from tutorial 1, group 2. So today our group will discuss about the chapter 7, which is structuring and designing organization. So now I'm going to introduce my group member, who is Lu Shilin, Iris Ling Yishuan, Susan Ning, Chong Yuk Lam, and me myself, Chu Ziwei. Chia Kamen Kampation Dafi Angun Xuan, Liu Yishen, and Muhammad Forizad Haris bin Muhammad Fauzi. Let's start with our first discussion, which is the six key concepts defining the organization design. The six key concepts to defining the organization design, which is included work specialization, departmentalization, authority and responsibility, span on control, centralization and decentralization, and the formalization. So these six key concept is really important for organization to let them understand how they're going to structure their organization for efficiency and effectiveness. So let's start with work specialization. Work specialization is involved the breaking down activity into separate job tasks to increase the efficiency. So that means the individual employee will specialize in doing part of an activity rather than entire activity. So through the specialization, organization can efficient, effectively and efficiently to utilize the diversity of skill that employee have. But now the modern manager have some um, recognize and acknowledge that it has a limitation, which mean human diseconomics such as boredom, fatigues, and stress can overweight their economy advantage. Now moving on to departmentalization, this involves grouping common work activity together. For instance, we have various methods like functional departmentalization, product departmentalization, customer, geographic, and process departmentalization. So now I'm going to explain further about the method of departmentalization. First of all, functional departmentalization is involve grouping employee based on the specific work they perform. For instance, within a large corporation, you might find distinct departments such as engineering, accounting, information system, and human resource. Each handling task is related to their specialized function. And second is product departmentalization, which is focused on grouping employee based on major product area within the company. An example would be Fashion Retail Corporation. Organize their department for women's footwear, men footwear, and apparel and accessory to effectively their managerial work and to manage and address the unique challenge and opportunity associated with its product line. And the third one is customer departmentalization. This involves organizing employee based on the specific needs and problem of different customer segment. In a diversified business, department may be structured for wholesale customer, retail customer, and government client. This allowed the company to tailor its approach to meet the distinct requirements of each customer category. And next is geographic departmentalization, which means the employee will group together based on the location they serve. For instance, a company might have department dedicated to serve a different region, such as North, South, Midwest, and East. This method will adapt the business strategy to the unique characteristic and demand of the specific geographic area. The last is the process departmentalization, which will involve organizing the employee based on the flow of the work or customer. An example will be structuring department according to the stage of a particular business process. This will ensuring the streamline, efficient, and efficient lah. So the workflows will become more fluent. So this approach can enhance the coordinate coordination and collaboration among the employee involved in specific process of customer journey. We will implementing those method depends on the organization goals and activity. And nowadays, the nowadays is have a view that's recognized that the organization continue to use their traditional departmentalization, which is the departmentalization that I mentioned just now, but they also employ their cross-functional teams for the more complex and more difficult tasks. To authority and responsibility. Authority refer to the right inherent in a manager position to give an order and expect the order to be obeyed. When a manager delegate authority, they must allocate with responsibility also. This is because allocating authority without the responsibility and accountability will create opportunity for abuse. And not only that, the authority involving the unity of command, which emphasize that an employee should report to only one manager, because this will avoiding the conflicting of demands. To authority and responsibility. Authority refer to the right inherent in a manager position to give an order and expect the order to be obeyed. When a manager delegate authority, they must allocate with responsibility also. This is because allocating authority without the responsibility and accountability will create opportunity for abuse. And not only that, the authority involving the unity of command, which emphasize that an employee should report to only one manager, because this will avoiding the conflicting of demands. So let's dive into two type of authority relationship. One is line authority, one is staff authority. The line authority entitling and manager to direct the work of an employee contributing directly to organizational objective. On the other hand, the staff authority means involve the activity which is like the supporting, assisting, advising the line manager in their informational burdens. For example, like included the department like purchasing department or human resource department. We explore deeper about their authority and responsibility, we will realize that power also play a very significant and important role. But first, what is the means of power? Power is described as a right legitimate by one's position, is inherently tied to the job. In contrast, power defined as an individual capacity to influence a decision. It can come from various sources beyond formal authority. For example, it's included coercive, rewards, legitimate, expert, and referent power. To authority and responsibility. Authority refer to the right inherent in a manager position to give an order and expect the order to be obeyed. When a manager delegate authority, they must allocate with responsibility also. This is because allocating authority without the responsibility and accountability will create opportunity for abuse. And not only that, the authority involving the unity of command, which emphasize that an employee should report to only one manager, because this will avoiding the conflicting of demands. Let's explore span of control. This refers to how many employees a manager can effectively supervise. In a traditional view, they always emphasize that small span of control for effective supervision. But now the contemporary view recognizes the importance of contingency variable in determining their most efficient span. So the modern approach consider many factors such as the employee experience, task characteristic, and the organizational value in deciding the appropriate span of control. Now, centralization and decentralization. Centralization is the degree to which decision making take place at upper level of organization. Decentralization is the degree to which lower level manager provide input or actually do the decision. And organization often find the balance. In recent decade, there have been a trend towards more decentralization, especially we can see at the US or the Canadian organization. This is because the increasing of the complexity and dynamism at business environment. So the decentralization allow the organization to empower lower level manager who are often closer to their day-to-day challenge. Lastly, formalization. This refers to how standardized an organization job are and the extent to which employee behavior is guided by the rules and procedure. Highly formalized organizations have established rules and procedure. However, the trend is moving towards for less formalization because it can stifle the creativity and the innovative of the employee. So each of the organization must find a balance and considering the factors like employee experience, task complexity, and the organization value.
Greetings to Doctor and my fellows. I would like to answer to question number 2. What are the concepts of traditional and contemporary organizational designs? And also, will these designs be influenced differently by management and the environment? Now, I would like to introduce about traditional organizational designs. First is simple structure. It has low departmentalization and wide spans of control. The authority are focuses on a single person while having little formalization. This structure is suitable for small business. Then is functional structure. It has grouped all the similar or related occupational specialists together, but this might create silos. Lastly, I would like to introduce about divisional structure. It is made up of separate business units or divisions. Each division has its own limited autonomy. At the same time, parents corporation acts as an external overseer to control these divisions. Now, let me introduce the contemporary organizational designs. There are 4 types of structure for these designs. First, team structure. It is made up of work teams. The employee empowerment is crucial for this structure. So what are the benefits? It has the efficiency of a pure accuracy while providing flexibility of teams at the same time. Now, secondly, we come to the matrix project structure. It has assigned specialists from different functional departments to work together. The employees continuously work on the projects. For this structure, the coordination of a multiple set of complex and interdependent projects are facilitated. At the same time, the economics is also retained. The third type of design is boundaryless organization. It does not have rigid, bounded, or predefined structure. There are 2 types of structural options, which are visual organization and also network organization. It has allowed the organizations to concentrate on what they do best. Last, we come to the learning organizations. It has developed the capacity of continuously learn, adapt, and change. The employees are practicing knowledge management. It has grabbed the competitive advantage and also essential for a long-term sustainability. To the second part of this question, I would like to discuss about how differently for these 2 designs when they are influencing by the management. I'm going to divide this discussion into 4 aspects. First is about a hierarchy. Traditional designs having a clear hierarchy and also a top-down authority. Contemporary designs prefer a flatter structure or matrix arrangement. When making a decision, traditional designs prefer a centralized decision-making approach, while contemporary designs is promoting a decentralized decision-making approach. The concept is also different. Traditional designs tends to follow a more structured routines, while the contemporary designs is fostering a culture embracing change and also innovation. Last, we can look at the communication. A formal communication channel is prioritized in traditional designs, while an open communication channel across the departments is using in the contemporary. Entering the last part of this question, I would like to talk about the differences when these two designs are facing the influences by the environment. In a stable environment, traditional designs will give a good performance due to its focuses on the efficiency and also quality control. Contemporary designs may work well also, but is more focusing on agility and also customer centricity. When both of them are facing a dynamic environment, traditional designs may hinder adaptability and also innovation. But contemporary designs is having a quick adaptation to the changes because they are more flexible and also having a more focus on the innovation. For question number 3, compared to the strengths and weaknesses of a functional structure, what are the strengths and weaknesses of a simple structure? First, let's look at the simple structure. The strengths are fast, flexible, and inexpensive to maintain it. It is having a clear accountability because of its clear hierarchy. It also having the weaknesses at the same time. It is not appropriate as organization grows because this structure only suitable for small business. The process of decision making is also slow and risky because mostly the decision depends on a single person only. Let's take a look on functional structure. The strengths are cost saving and more efficient because the employees are grouped with others who have similar tasks and job scopes. There are some weaknesses also. Managers might lose their sights and the functional specialists become insulated for this structure. Lack of understanding across the departments is also a concerning problem. It might lead to the silos.
Greeting to daughters and my group members. I'm Yok Lam and today I'm going to share about question 7.4, which is construct the design of a boundaryless organization and a structureless organization, and also explain the points of construct with example. So what is boundaryless organization? Boundaryless organization is most often used by companies that select the prospective business strategy and operate in a volatile environment. The outsources are all non-essential functions. For example, that Toyota managed its relationship with hundreds of suppliers to achieve efficiency and quality in its operation. Besides that, boundaryless organization also seeks to remove vertical, horizontal, and external barriers so that employees, manager, customer, and also supplier can work together, sharing their ideas and identify the best idea for the organization. Boundaryless organizations also drive innovation by free flow of information using new technology. For example, use video conferencing in place of face-to-face communication to facilitate team communication from disparate parts of the globe. Messaging apps can build for company use specific can also prove helpful. Besides that, structureless structure is a structure but is incomplete. There's no organization diagram in structural organization, and the knowledge is internalizer. For example, that the Google is designed to allow more space and more opportunity for knowledge and new ideas to emerge for chance meeting rather than being planned from above. Community-based decision-making previews decentralization and distributed governance. For example, that departments are similar example of bureaucratic structure are removed, and in their place are projects to which any interest people from any part of the organization might contribute. Borderless organizations have adaptability and flexibility. It allows employees to work when and how they want, as long as they remain responsible for completing their tasks in a timely manner and assisting their core workers when necessary. Whereas structureless organizations have no fixed workspace. For example, the optical vendor working in pre-existing department and within a pre-existing structure. People push their trolleys around and cluster together to work on particular project. In borderless organization, employees have more responsibility for their own project. Decisions are made by people closer to the root of the problem and who have to live with the consequences. Whereas in structureless organization, there is no job title and fixed roles. Example, in Optical, rather than being directed top-down, workers are left to self-organize. Besides that, borderless organization has a strong core value and vision. For example, usually the organizations allow enough free flow of information to ensure all of the employees know what the large scales and long-term goals for the organization are. The employees get full responsibility to find their own way to achieve the expected result as long as it aligns with the vision, ethic, and the values of the company. Whereas in structureless organization, the shared and community drive policy and standard preview, serving as the glue. In borderless organizations, most borderless organizations are dispersed internationally. For example, employees might come from other countries with different cultures, whereas in structureless organization, it is a purpose-driven self-organization and autonomy. Example, usually born from voluntary interconnected networks of autonomous stakeholders united around a shared purpose. Usually, they come from networks or independent stakeholders who work together for a common goal. So here is a construct the design of a boundaryless organization and a structureless organization. From the table, we can see that boundaryless organization has an organization diagram, whereas structural organization doesn't have. And structureless organization has a specific workspace, whereas boundaryless organization doesn't have a specific workspace. In collaboration and communication level, but boundaryless organization has a high level compared to a structureless organization. Last but not least, boundaryless organization involve of a third party, whereas structural organization does not involve of third party inside. Greeting to doctors and my group members. I'm Yoklam and today I'm going to share about question 7.5 which is constructs mechanistic and organic organization. So today I'm going to share about mechanistic organization and organic organization. Mechanistic organization, also known as a hierarchical structure, is company structure that is high in specialization, formalization, and centralization. On the other hand, organic structure is a company structure that is low in specialization, formalization, and centralization. The mechanistic organization is best suited for large companies that operate in stable and certain environment. In general, a mechanistic organization is easy to maintain and rarely needs to be changed when an organization operates in stable environment, whereas organic organization is used in small organization and organization that needs to quickly adapt to change in unstable and dynamic environment. Another difference between both organizations is that mechanistic organization has rigid hierarchical relationship and organic organization has both vertical and horizontal hierarchical relationship. Next, all duties in the mechanistic structure are fixed and specialized but flexible in organic organization. For example, in mechanistic organization, it is typical for each people to be assigned one task that is relatively stable and easy to control. The workers in an organic structure organization can handle different tasks at the same time. Mechanistic structure also has fixed and many rules where organic structure is otherwise. Besides that, mechanistic structure also has a centralized decision authority and formalized communication channels. In mechanistic organization, authority reflects a well-defined hierarchy where top-level managers make the majority of the decision. Because the environment is relatively more stable, complex decision-making process that involve multiple parties are not required. They also have their taller structure in terms of authority hierarchical relationship. On the other hand, organic structure has decentralized decision authority and informal communication channels where employees normally work together and coordinate different tasks at the same time, leading to a flatter authority structure overall. Mechanistic structure also adopts a clear change of command, whereas loose structure in organic structure allow for rapid adjustment or change. As a result, organic structure organizations are mostly less efficiency as they will need to be responsible for a few tasks at the same time. However, they are more flexible and can respond faster. In contrast, mechanistic structure organizations are more efficient as employees have specialized tasks. However, when situation occurs, they may be less flexible and respond slower. Some of the examples of mechanistic organization are manufacturing companies, whereas organic organizations are companies which focus on research and development, R&D, and innovation.
Greeting to Doctor and all my fellows. Today I'll be summarizing the case application 1, turbulence at United Air, which is the topic of organizational structure and employee behavior. First of all, the United Airlines 2017 public relation disaster which involved several incidents that caused international outcry. The lagging incident actually refers to the dress code of the airline. Stricter dress code is required for the two teenagers who are literally wearing leggings as the United wants to present itself in a positive and favorable light. Let us move on to Dr. David Dow's forced removal and United Airlines policy on involuntary removal of passengers. This is actually a serious case that shouldn't happen in any airline. Dr. David gets forced to leave the flight, although he has important appointments with his clients. Pulling and dragging out the customer involuntarily is the worst decision to remove the passengers. This may show how unsuccessful their management for the staff is. Come to the ejection of soon-to-be wed couples. The Uniteds blame the couple by saying that they tried to sit in upgrade seats repeatedly, but actually the fact is the other customers accidentally sat in their seats. How about the tragic incidents of dog staff in overhead compartment? A flight attendant requests the passenger to put the dog at there, although she refused, and the United responded that it's not the policy to put the animal in the overhead compartment after the passenger discovered her dog had died. Employee discretion and flexibility issues should be aware. In order to minimize the cost or boost efficiency, perhaps they should focus on the organization management to serve customer better, but not only following the rules. Strict rule following bureaucracy and employee fear must be focused by the United Airlines to make sure the service crew are working without anxiety and depressed. Last, balancing policy enforcement with customer service and employee empowerment is crucial to build up a more friendly environment as well as the professional image of the airline. That's all for my part. Thank you.
Good day everyone. So now I will share about question 7.11 for case 1. Evaluate how United Airlines handled each of these incidents. Do you think that United Airlines was within its power to respond the way its employee did? Why or why not? So for the first questions, evaluate how United Airlines handle each of these incidents. There are four incidents that's encountered by the United Airlines. So the first incident in relation to wearing leggings, how United Airlines handled these incidents. United Airlines defended its decision regarding leggings, citing the dress code policy for pass riders, where leggings were deemed inappropriate for those on free or heavily discounted passes. And is in this situation show that United Airlines response was technically within its policy, but it is failed to consider the evolving society norm and the need for empathy. United Airlines could have handled the situation more proactively by providing clear communications about its policy and addressing concerns in a more customer-friendly manner. The incident highlighted the importance of balancing policy enforcement with effectively communication and empathy. And the second incident is in relation to access passengers. And this incident involving the forceful removal of Dr. David due to access passenger was a significant failure in United Airlines handling of these situations. While the airline had the authority to involuntary boarding, the use of excessive force and the lack of empathy in the initial response resulted in several public backlash and a PR crisis. The incidents highlighted the importance of balancing policy enforcement with customer-centric approach and effective crisis management. United Airlines faced justified criticism for the incidents and leading to policy changes and a lawsuit settlement with Dr. David. For the third incident is an incident in relation to seat swaps. The incidents involve a couple being removed from a flight after attempting to sit in an upgraded seat. United Airlines claimed that they repeatedly violated crew instructions. In these incidents, United Airlines response lacked clarity on the specifics of the couple actions, raising questions about communications and policy enforcement. While airlines have the right to address disruptive behavior, a more transparent and empathetic communications could have mitigated negative reactions. The incidents highlighted potential miscommunications and the need for a more customer-friendly approach. And for the last incident is incidents in relation to pet carrier. The incidents involved a passenger being instructed to place the dog in the overhead compartment, leading to the pet death. United Airlines expressed regrets and launched an investigation. In this incident, it involved the pet carrier revealed shortcomings in United Airlines' handling of pet safety policies and communications. While the airline had the authority to enforce pet carrier rules, the controversy arose due to a lack of clarity in communications, potential mismanagements, and the unfortunate death of the pet involved. The incidents underscore the need for airlines to prioritize clear communications, proper policy enforcement, and proactive measures to ensure the safety and well-being of animals in their care. So for the next questions, do you think that United Airlines was within its power to respond the way its employee did? Why or why not? So for the first incident, in my perspective, is the answer is yes. United Airlines was technically within its power to respond the way its employee did in the leggings controversy. The airline had a dress code policy for pass riders, including those on free or heavily discounted passes, and deemed leggings inappropriate attire for such passengers. However, the controversy arose from the perception that the policy was too rigid and not aligned with changing societal norms. The response lacked sensitivity to public sentiments, and the United Airlines could have proactively communicated its policy while addressing concerns to avoid the negative backlash. And for the second incident, United Airlines was also within its power to invoke its involuntary denial of boarding process, which allowed the airlines to remove passengers from overbooked flights. However, the use of force, especially the physical removal of Dr. David, which is one of the passengers in the flight, escalated the situation into a severe public relations crisis. While the airline had the authority to deny boardings, the manner in which it was executed demonstrated a lack of empathy, proper communications, and a failure in customer service. The incidents highlight the need for airlines to balance policy enforcement with a more customer-centric and compassionate approach to avoid such negative consequences. So for the third incident, I think that United Airlines has the authority to address disruptive behavior, but incidents raise questions about miscommunications. The response could have been more transparent and empathetic, considering the unique circumstances of these situations. The airline's response is lack of clarity and empathy, and a more customer-friendly approach could have been beneficial. And for the last incidents, United Airlines had policies related to pet carriers and the discretions to enforce them. However, the controversy in the pet carrier incidents arose from issues of communications, customer service, and potential mismanagement of pet safety policy. And the response expresses regret but could have been more proactive in addressing the underlying problems in enforcing policies and ensuring the well-being of animals. The incidents highlighted that the importance of clear communications, empathy, and a customer-centered approach in handling situations involving passengers and their pets.
For question 7.12, how would you describe United Airlines' role of formalization? Do you think it's appropriate? Explain. So before I start to answer the question, let me explain a little bit about the formalization. It refers to the degree to which an organization rules, policies, procedures, and job descriptions are explicitly stated in writing. Formalized structures enable organizations to regulate employee behavior through written rules to make employee actions more predictable. Formalization is crucial for organizations to establish a structured and consistent work environment. It has many advantages include internal standardization, predictable outcome quality, compliance with norms, and more. United Airlines formalization lies in the policy that is established by upper management. It is inappropriate because United Airlines already had excessive formalization in the organization that made many incidents happen, such as dress code policy, involuntary denial of boarding process, and violation of rules and instructions. The employees of United Airlines are not given choice to perform their tasks and are held to strict restrictions. For instance, flight attendants are held accountable for the timely departures, which can be stressful and put a lot of pressure on them. There have been speculations that the pressure may have contributed to a flight attendant suggesting the passenger to put the dog in a pet carrier in an overhead compartment. Although the passenger did not want to do that, but the flight attendant kept requesting that she comply. This excessive formalization can lead to a lack of creativity and innovation. Employees may feel constrained by the rules and procedures in the workplace. Inflexibility in an organization also can make it difficult to adapt to change circumstances and take advantage of new opportunities. This excessive formalization also limits the employees' autonomy. They just follow the rules set by the companies and make less decisions. Despite these challenges, United Airlines has been successful in generating revenue due to its employees' ability to get plans out on time. This pleasure for profits is likely why the company needs to change to a high formalization. For question 7.13, using information from the chapter about the contingency factors that favor either the mechanistic or the organic model of organizational design, what do you think United Airlines organizational structure should resemble? Be sure to think about this in terms of efficiency and effectiveness. What is mechanistic organizational structure? It is a traditional form of organizational structure. It has a rigid structure, centralized decision making, greater formality, and standardized control system. Decision making authority lies primarily at the top management and has clear divisions of labor. However, organic organizational structure is more flexible, less formal, flatter, less hierarchical, and more decentralized. The communication flows horizontally, and employees are given autonomy to make decisions at their work levels. United Airlines resemble to mechanistic organizational structure. This structure is beneficial for boost efficiency and minimize costs in the organization. Then, the contingency factors indicate that the company structure is associated with the size, strategy, technology, and environment. United Airlines is a large organization. The hierarchy and formalization provide a framework for coordinating and controlling a large number of employees and activities. There is a clear chain of command. Their strategy is to minimize costs and maximize efficiency to increase profits. Routine technology has been required to improve the effectiveness, and lastly, is a stable and predictable environment is suitable when there is little uncertainty or rapid change. A rigid structure can help to maintain control and efficiency. These all support the mechanistic organizational structure.
Hi, my name is Haris. So let's move on to another question, which is what do you think United Airlines should do in future? What suggestion or enhancement might you have for its organization structure? My suggestion and enhancements for United Airlines to do in future. First, they should implement a few characteristics of organic structure, which is decentralized decision authority and adaptable duties, to help customer service in all branches to cope with the problem quickly and provide a better service to their customer. This can increase flexibility and efficiency to cope with the problem arise. Next, United Airlines should implement functional structure to achieve minimization of costs and to run an errand in all branches to sustain the company in a long time. Lastly, they should revise the written policy of that company and get a better understanding of employee to increase the employee performance in providing a service to the customer. Next questions. How do employees' actions reflect an organization's stance as far as being responsible and ethical? How might United managers encourage employees to be responsible and ethical even when rules must be followed? When an employee is doing their job ethically and responsible, while providing a good service to the customer, it shows that the company has a good stance. United managers should prepare a proper training to their employees to increase performance of their employees while providing excellent service to the customer. It will increase a good image of their company. Next, United managers should set a supportive culture and environment for their employees to get a better environment to work and also increase the efficiency of practice ethical and responsible behavior while doing their job and providing service. Other than that, we know that employees must seek approval from the manager to run an errand. So, the managers should set a good example of doing work ethically and responsible to influence the employees to work ethically while doing their job and providing service. Lastly, managers should communicate with the employees about the importance of work in ethics to influence them to work ethically and responsibility while doing their job. And the managers should set expectations that every employee need to aim and achieve that while doing their job and providing service to the customer in order to sustain a good name for their company.
Good day, doctor and fellow classmates. My name is Lu Yishen. Now I'm going to share a summary which is talks about NASA's journey, challenges, and how it manages knowledge to achieve its goals. After the Space Shuttle program ended in 2011, NASA faced uncertainty about its purpose and identity, and NASA wasn't sure what to do next. However, NASA has set new goals, which is reach an asteroid by 2025 and land astronauts on Mars by 2030. This change in focus means it is important to really understand how managing information is crucial for shaping the organization's future. NASA's vision focuses on exploring new frontiers for the benefit of humankind, which is about exploring new places for the benefit of people. While its mission aims to drive advances in various aspects such as science, technology, astronautics, and space exploration to enhance knowledge, education, innovation, economic vitality, and Earth stewardship. These ideas guide NASA's leaders and the team when they make decisions about projects and missions. However, NASA faced tough challenges in exploring space as they need to deal with the high cost of equipment and make sure that astronauts stay safe. Even with past successes such as landing on the moon 6 times, NASA is now working on new technologies for longer space journeys, as seen in the 2014 test flight of Orion, a spacecraft for faraway trips. This achievement underscores the critical role played by the organization's knowledgeable, talent, and creative workforce. Managing the pool of expertise presents its own set of challenges due to NASA's organization's environment is quite complex. Furthermore, NASA's structure involves technical complexity, ongoing projects, change and diverse stakeholders' demands. It emphasizes the necessity of fostering an environment that facilitates the sharing of knowledge, a task easier said than done. To address this, NASA found different ways to share knowledge that they are using or think are needed. NASA's knowledge sharing activities include online tools like collaboration sites, video libraries, and portal. Besides, there is a search engine that helps organize information. NASA has a library of stories and papers that can easily find, a list, a list of steps they have learned from the networks of experts. In addition, NASA also uses forums, workshops, and other social events to promote idea and information exchange. In short, NASA's efforts to manage knowledge are seen as very important for navigating complexity and achieving ambitious goals. NASA shows it is serious about handling its vast knowledge by investing in tools and strategies that make it easy to share information efficiently and effectively, ensuring the continued success of its missions and the advancement of space exploration. NASA leaders also demonstrated that they know how vital it is for an organization structure to help manage knowledge well. That's all from me. Thank you.
So let us continue to discuss the next questions. Would you call NASA a learning organizations? Why or why not? So I would consider NASA a learning organizations. Meaning of learning organizations is an organizations that have developed the capacity to continuously learn, adapt, and change. There are some important characteristics of a learning organizations, that is organization design, information sharing, leadership, and cultures. My reason is because they are constantly learning more and more about universe. They discover and learn things about how our planet and others work and how different things such as asteroids and moon affect how Earth and other planets operate within the universe. And the next question is, in what way is NASA's environment complex? So NASA's environment is complex because it requires so much money and material to discover new information. Quite often they discover things that are never expected, and because no one has ever gained the information on this thing before, it requires so many different eyes and brains to understand what they are looking at.
So now let's move on to the next question, which is question 18. How does complexity affect structural choice? The complexity environment of NASA will affect structural choice is because NASA continue to grow in size and become more complex. So the organization is required to change in order to effectively coordinate and communicate efficiently. This can cause managers to face things such as managing effective work, which requires the development of formal structure. Manager will also face tasks require structures, rules, and regulations in regards to how they go about doing the task. So now let's move on to the last question, which is question 19. By using exhibit question 12, what suggestion would you make to managers at NASA about being a learning organization? Write this in a bullet list format that you could distribute as a handout. So my first suggestion is without information, learning cannot happen. This is a reason why employees should be encouraged to share knowledge with everyone as clearly and accurate as possible. Secondly, employees should be encouraged and not be punished for experimenting and sharing gathered information as they will learn a lot of things from everyone. My third suggestion is employees in different departments should try to communicate with each other to learn more about how each one works to potentially come up with a good idea. And my fourth suggestion is leaders should organize different ideas and tests for their employee in order to avoid repeating failing and completed tasks. And that's the end for my presentation. Thank you. So that's the end of our group presentation. Thank you everyone for listening and have a good day.